Today I learned that trees have a maximum height of 426 feet and cannot grow taller due to the opposing force of gravity. If there's one thing I've ever learned about biology, it's that nature hates rules, so I bet that there's a 500 feet tree existing out of spite. It's 453 actually. https://science. How stuff works. com/life/botany/treegrow, htm. While I didn't bother to read the actual math involved, the short description of it leads me to believe it isn't entirely accurate. Sequoia, for example, have aerial roots which allow them to get water from fog in the air. So if a tree was in a consistently foggy area, the height limit these scientists are talking about wouldn't apply. 130 meters. Edit. While looking up math pays off, I didn't know the conversion, but it was an interesting fact, so curious. My first 500 plus upvote plus 3 awards. Thanks all. Let's repeal the law of gravity. Stupid shit like that limiting our trees, it's why we'll never make it to space. Most of them stop at 420 feet to giggle for a while though. The natural enemy of trees is gravity itself. That's why they dropped an apple on Newton's head, so they could get man to try and figure out and stop gravity on behalf of the trees. Good fact, thank you. Interestingly, many record-breaking trees locations are confidential so people don't cut them down or vandalize them. Extra fun fact, some, if not all tall trees need wind, or they might fall down from lack of strength. One of the coolest things I read in fiction was in one of Arthur C. Clarke's sequels to 2001, A Space Odyssey. I think it was 3001, The Final Odyssey. In the book, there's a huge space station that's basically a city orbiting the Earth, and Clarke describes the palm trees as at least twice as tall as on Earth because of the lower gravity. That book series is filled with little details like that about space flight or gravity which you might not think about, but they are backed up by science. They really help immerse readers in the story. Does this mean we could have 1,200 feet trees on Mars? Well, yes. Sort of. That height is the maximum because the leaves pull the water column up from the roots with evaporation. Water is incompressible, and therefore non-stretchable, so as water evaporates, it pulls water up from the roots. Water is heavy, and the maximum force that evaporation can exert on a vertical column of water is reached at that height due to the weight of the water itself pulling downward exceeding maximum evaporation pressure. So Kashyyyk has a lower gravity so the trees can grow taller. Interesting. Huh. Sure wish the guy at Home Depot would have told me that before I wasted $9.15 on that extra bag of Miracle Gro. 8 meters. Someone mentioned it's actually 453 feet, in which case it's 138 meters. Anyone wonder if there were trees larger than Sherman and Hyperion that were cut down before logging regulations? So would it be plausible to eliminate these challenges through artificial support? I know nothing about this, but would be interesting if it be theoretically plausible to make cyborg trees. I thought it was 256 blocks, really. I never thought there was actually a physical limit to their growth. The height is limited by how high water can be drawn upwards through capillary action, osmotic pressure, metric potential, and vapor pressure. As leaves transpire water, it draws more water up. Similar things are happening with salt concentration and tiny electrical charges. It's all a balance between these forces, and at some point the gravitational potential of the column of water is just too high for the other forces to overcome. Interestingly, redwoods circumvent this issue by literally drinking fog. Instead of watering their highest leaves by sucking up groundwater, they can take it in right out of the atmosphere. Redwoods aren't limited by gravity but by how high and how dense the fog is. That's 130 meters. Hey till 2, a lot will stop at 469 feet and let out a silent nice then keep on going. Why do you guys measure with your feet? Isn't that hard? Minecraft build limit. What's the tallest height a human could grow to? It's also the capacity of leaves to provide negative pressure, suction, during photosynthesis that also dictates it. That's why most species grow much shorter than that. It's genetic. What's that in normal units? That's a cool fact, indeed, that I didn't know until now. BTW, how many stories roughly is 426 feet? I have always wanted to know this. Thanks. Seriously, I've always wondered why trees don't just keep growing high. Awesome. So on a planet with less gravity like Mars, could we have taller trees? Isn't that completely dependent on the size of the trunk though? You learn the theory, not a fact. Not saying I doubt or disagree, but should be called out. Too many theories are labeled as facts when they are not. Wait, I thought the build height was 256 m. They discovered that despite the moistness of the ground far below, the leaves at the treetops struggle to get enough water, so they are effectively living in a constant drought. The difficulty of getting water so far up into the sky is what ultimately constrains growth, suspects Cox's team. LOL. Someday I'm going to build a treehouse 400 feet above the earth. Oh yeah? Well, I'm going to build one 500 feet up. Me, a random fact enthusiast who just learned this. Love to see you try. Sort of similar-esque fact, helicopters have a speed limit because the blades on one side of the main prop eventually break the speed of sound, so you end up with sonic booms every time a blade breaks Mach 1. I think it's around 250 miles per hour, 400-ish kilometers per hour. This isn't true. The maximum height of trees is related to the increasing tension exerted on the tree's xylem as water needs to be transported higher. As a tree grows higher, it needs increasingly thinner capillaries that are stronger but less effective at transporting water, otherwise they will break and embolize. The current tallest tree is only 379. Woman shrugging, medium light skin tone. Negative pressures on water, https://u2. b/bigmfhazra0, creates the suction and is powered by solar energy of the region. Gravity opposes them, https://web pages. Ciencias, U Lisboa. pt/Malaco/Cook. PDF. That means theoretically a desert-based tree with its higher solar energy and lower gravity, after all the earth is fat there, would allow for maximum growth, although deserts don't have that crucial thing, water. Trees must abide by this law. Hyperion is 379. This isn't true. 426 feet isn't some magic height past which things get exponentially more difficult. What the fuck are 426 feet? What's that in coconuts? False. I've seen plenty of trees in forests on top of mountains with elevation much higher than 426 feet/s. This isn't true. Not only has there been a tree that is taller than that, but if any tree developed a mutation that allowed it to pull water up then pool it for other systems to pull it up further, it wouldn't be restricted by gravity. You could also have a tree with a dead top. Tallest tree in the world. https://www. Live Science. com/28729 Tallest tree in world. HTML. Watch Veritasum's video about it. Trees use negative pressure to get water to the top. Largest tree discovered is Hyperion, a redwood in Northern California. 380 feet tall. I thought the ones near the coat on the PNW could grow higher because the top parts of the tree get their water from fog and rolling clouds. What an interesting fact. I just got back from the Tall Trees Grove in Redwoods National Park. I'm willing to bet several of those trees are near this height. Was really impressive. Hyperion, at 397 feet, don't give a crap. Tallest tree in the world found in 2006. Unless they learn how to pump water. It is quite possible that average human height won't exceed 7 feet. So what's the hypothetical max height of a tree grown on Mars with a proper atmosphere? I'd say 1,100 feet if it's just gravity that's the issue. I'm not sure that the windstorms would stop completely, however. Trees' carbon mass is taken from the air. For some reason, thinking about that always weirds me out. It takes tons of CO2 to grow 400 plus feet. What the hell? The devs edit again with the ceiling limit.